He didn't choose the villain life here. The villain life. It chose CJ McCollum here.
Jose, right?
Hey, so the Knicks, they were 64-1, have been leading by 10 or more points entering the fourth in playoff history. Anyone know the one? Reggie Miller.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not saying that CJ is that, but this had the writing on the wall here for New York. CJ McCollum kicks it out to Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the three.
No.
McCollum getting all of his teammates involved. The next play,
Halliburton.
Brunson drives to the basket, rejected, blocked there by Kuminga.
Beating stuff at the rim, as Ant would say.
Jalen Johnson drives to the basket. Hawks cut the deficit to 1, and then a minute later, McCollum.
Ooh, ooh.
You know
That was
what?
nasty.
He still got it.
I didn't know it was move like that.
Next Atlanta possession, McCollum just going at Brunson. He's really cooking now here, Shanae. And then the next play, Brunson pulls up.
Oh, yeah.
Knocks down the three.
He tried to put him on their back.
What an answer
With
from
the answers,
Brunson.
yep.
This was a
few
big
plays
time
later.
play. This was a big time shot.
Tough. That was a heat check shot.
Over the top of OG and a freaking Novi.
So 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter here. Brunson drives the
Great
jumper.
defense.
Can't get it. To the other way.
That was a man's finish. Wow.
Hands for safety.
So here, the Hawks getting ready to foul for the game. Jalen Brunson, though. Oh, everywhere but down. There it goes down.
3 ball with no time off the clock.
And so here, the Hawks get it in. McCollum, he's the hot man, so they foul him. Heads to the free throw line. McCollum, he misses the first free throw. Clanks off the second. Josh Hart gets the rebound. No timeouts. Pushes up the floor. Mikal Bridges, he has a good look. Can't quite get it to go.
Just short.
The Hawks steal game 2 at the Garden. Here's CJ McCollum. He was asked, are you a villain, CJ?
I am no villain. I'm a nice guy with 2 kids and a wife. I think it's admiration. Great, passionate fans in a really hostile environment. It's fun. It's basketball. It's the playoffs. And if anything, I think it's a sign of respect.
I'm no villain. I got 2 kids and a wife, he said. Trae Young's got 2 kids and a wife, too.
Bird sound. Caw.
Yeah, what was that one more time?
Caw.
Yeah. See all in the A, CJ McCollum says here. Here's Jalen Brunson on CJ's big night.
He was in a great rhythm. I got to disrupt it, make him play on his heels, make him react to me defensively, and he was just in a rhythm. And you got to give him a lot of credit.
We've been in this situation before. Obviously everyone is, frustrated with, this loss. And, we're going to go into game 3 with a great attention to detail and a great focus, for a full 48. We got high character guys, who respond well.
So a 1-1 series, right? It doesn't sound that bad. But the Knicks, they actually have a losing record when a series is tied at 1-1 in a best-of-7. Now, all right, they did beat the Pistons in the first round last year after splitting the first 2 games. So if we're looking at recent history, maybe that's comforting. But as we head down to Atlanta, what is this series going to come down to here, Brian?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the first step in getting upset in a playoff series is kicking a game. Because you have a game that's won, especially the Knicks, who are a very good top 3 clutch team this year. This is games that they normally close out. That's what you do. When you kick a game that also gives up home court advantage, that's step 2, lose home court advantage. So the Knicks are going to have to win it back. They played very good minutes. Now, the one thing I'll say is I would not be surprised if Mike Brown makes some adjustments here, because for some reason he has decided, after not really doing this in regular season, to have big chunks of the game with Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson off of the court, which is what happened at the start of the fourth quarter, which is when the Hawks started the comeback.
At the same time, right?
At the same time.
Well, and so he said afterwards that the metrics support that they can play with both of them sitting, but they don't. You've got to stagger their
Just
minutes.
not that night, it didn't. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the clutch minutes. I think New York's still going to win this series and get back into it. We haven't seen Nickeil Alexander-Walker get into play yet. But
Not offensively.
Not offensively yet, but it's going to come down to, really, to me, it's Cat. And Cat was doing big Cat things through 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, he didn't get many touches and looks, but he was rebounding, offensive, pushing, knocking down threes, celebrating, throwing up his threes. He looked great. And the fourth quarter, they got kind of cold. They did throw some traps on him, but he needs to be more demonstrative and more demanding of the ball in the fourth quarter.
They've got to figure a way how to get him the ball more. He had 7 attempts in the third quarter. He had 2. He posted up twice. Here's one of them here at the 6-minute mark here against Onyeka Okongwu. Certainly pushed him off the paint. And then the second one was with Jonathan Kuminga defending him at right around the 3-minute mark here. And Kuminga did a great job pushing him away from the basket. But they've got to feed him the ball. Remember, this is an Atlanta team that I think Okongwu is 6'8". This is a small team.
Right.
But last night, 22-4 in points in the paint by Atlanta here.
Right.
They've got to figure out how. I feel like we talked about this last year in the Detroit series, getting him the ball down the stretch.
Well, they put Dyson Daniels to the bench. They put Onyeka Okongwu on Hart. They put Nah on Brunson. And then they put Kuminga on Towns. Is that something, Chiney, that they can go to as a recipe more and more?
Honestly, for the Atlanta Hawks, their biggest question was, can they close games knowing what Jalen Brunson historically has done at end of game? And they actually got a pretty good answer. And it came through the seasoned veteran and CJ McCollum, who actually was the second oldest player with 30 and 5 versus the Knicks in a playoff game. Now, he was hunting. He might say it politely, but I'm not going to do here. He was hunting Jalen Brunson. You see numerous switches, and he's one of the shiftiest players in the NBA with beautiful touch. He tapped that glass right there, hips. Right? Again, here's like a really solid screen. And again, it allows Jalen Brunson to be the defender. Anytime a player backs up, you know he's trying to cook. Everyone's chilling. He's on an island.
Everybody
Crossover
go
again.
flat.
Cat was too flat in the drop coverage and not able to contest. And then they won this game down the stretch because Jalen Brunson struggled creating his own shots for plays and possessions like this. He was 5 for 21 when creating his own shot. They were trying to force feed him the ball because of his reputation in clutch time. But look at the solid defense here, and then it leads to offense to really ice the game. So on both sides, both ends, having CJ McCollum play with poise, but more importantly, playing possessed defensively to me was most important for the Atlanta Hawks.
And we've seen that through 2 games here. And now CJ McCollum gets to go to his house, and they've secured back. They've snatched home court advantage if they're able to continue this momentum here. Coming up, was released earlier today. He said, quote, after a series of thoughtful and extensive discussions, here it is right here, with ownership regarding the future of the organization, I've decided to step away as the head coach of the Bulls to allow the search process to unfold. I believe it is in the best interest of the Bulls to allow the new leader to build out the staff as they see fit. Okay, that's what Billy Donovan had to say. The man who broke the story is with us now, Shams Charania. And Shams, you and I, we talked about just last week how the Bulls, even with new management changes, they wanted to keep Billy Donovan if he wanted to stay. So where does Chicago turn to now as a coaching search gets underway?
Malika, the Bulls will be in the market for a new head coach, but it really starts now for the Bulls with their new head of basketball operations. They're on the hunt for that right now, but that's where it comes down to Billy Donovan. They offered him any amount of years that he wanted to stay as coach, any type of extension he wanted, even a high-ranking managerial role. But Billy Donovan wants to keep coaching, and he actually had an option, his own option in his contract for next season, and he decided to decline it and to step down today as head coach. And so the Bulls' next task now is to find that new head of basketball, and they have started interviews on which direction they're going to go. And Billy Donovan wanted to essentially preempt that process and say, listen, I'm going to step aside here, let the Bulls find their direction. Billy Donovan has been very clear around the league. He wants to win. And so now he's going to be in the market potentially as a coaching candidate, but the Bulls will be able to find their direction, their new head of basketball operations, who then will pick the next head coach. And think about it. The Knicks wanted Billy Donovan last summer. UNC wanted Billy Donovan during the season. He decided to stick it out, and now both sides are parting ways.
All right, both sides are parting ways, but a lot of questions still in Chicago. Shams, thank you very much for that insight. Don't go too far. I got a couple more for you a little bit later in the show. But there's sort of the Bulls side of this, Brian, and then there's the Billy Donovan side of this, expecting to see him again in some sort of coaching capacity. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I think he was interested in doing this a year ago. The Knicks job was open. He was interested in going to New York. They talked him into staying a year, and frankly, they should have listened to Billy. They should have let him go last year, and they should have started a rebuild last year. Now they're starting a rebuild, and Billy did this once before. When he was in Oklahoma City, left in 2020, they started a rebuild. I don't know if you're aware they won a title by 2025. So let's see where the Bulls are in 5 years. It would have been better if they started it a year ago. But when Billy is now in the market, he will have a number of options whether he wants to go short term here or if he wants to wait a little bit longer and see what develops.
All right, so that's the Billy Donovan side of all of this. I mentioned the series of questions that Chicago certainly has. That sounds like a task for our front office insider, Bobby Marks, who's standing by over at the touchscreen.
Mr. Marks.
Mr. Marks, lay out the state of Chicago, the Windy City, for us.
Well, right now, they are the only team that has 2 picks in the top 15 at 9 and 15. That 15th pick is from Portland. If we spin the lottery, maybe we can find some lottery luck for...
Nope.
No. Let's spin it one more time here.
The Jazz?
Oh, how about a Miami Heat there? Nope. So this is what you're looking at if you are Chicago here. It filters out through, and this is kind of your pool of players, right? As far as all the players that have come up the board, it's only Nate Ament and Mikal Brown here, but you've got size. You've got a guard in Braden Burris, you've Kareem Lopez, Jackson Lendenberg, Ade Mara. If you need size, remember last year's lottery pick, Noah Aseng, he did not play most of the season. He's coming back from injury. So essentially, you've got 2 picks in the lottery last year, this year. You've got the 15th pick in the draft, and you've got $60 million in cap space. A lot to work with if you're the new front office, and certainly who they hire as the coach.
All right, so a lot of decisions here for Chicago, and who knows, maybe they'll get Dallas levels of lucky and jump up here in the draft. Coming up on our show, though, let's get back to the playoffs, because it was a fourth quarter that you had to see, Shanae, to believe. Wild finish in Madison Square Garden. Hallelujah. The Hawks and the Knicks, how Atlanta flipped the script, and what that says about the series moving forward. Plus, LeBron, he set the tone in Game 1 to the Lakers, but if Kevin Durant can't go, does that change everything? We have an injury report from Houston ahead, and